But we were gonna, that was the next step, is to start putting together the duplicates and hopefully culling down that list to less than 300.
We're live. Over 282.
All right, Ron.
All right. I'd like to call to order the March 12th meeting of the Isle Palms Planning Commission and note that the public was duly notified in accordance with state law. First item on the agenda is the approval of our minutes from our last meeting, February 12th. Have any comments? Any motions? Have a motion to approve. Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. Any comments?
Long comments. I'm just kidding.
No typos. I read it. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Oh.
Passes unanimously. The new business, street names. That's a new one.
Yeah, you don't get to do this very often.
No.
But this is a request to, it shows up, they've always called it No Name Road. I think they show it as having the name No Name Road. I think in reality, it's just an unnamed section right away. This is the road that the back gate of Wild Dunes is on. And they are requesting that it be officially renamed to, is it Dave's Way? Dave Drive.
Oh,
To honor Dave Konosky, the former Chief Operating Officer of the Wild Dunes Community Association. And this is a process that gets authorized by you all, then it goes through a little bit of a process with the county 911 service to be sure there's not a duplication. I think they've told us that this would be an acceptable name. So it's part of the process that you will look at it. Generally, it's communities don't want a profane name or something else like that in their communities, so they do this.
Oh, I have a question.
Okay?
One, it's Wild Dunes, so. It's a back gate. It literally is just a back gate with no addresses on it. It wouldn't even be there except for the back exit. Does that
Yep.
make sense?
Yep.
There's no.
Probably hence the reason it's never had a name before. It is kind of it's kind of a driveway.
Palmetto to
Yep.
Palm.
but if there was an accident or something,
Back gate.
Well, they do assign an address, and it probably is in there as No Name Road, I'm guessing. I don't know what the back gate address is. Maybe it's Palmetto? It might be a Palmetto address, or a Palm Boulevard address.
It's probably a Palm Boulevard address.
Might be.
I have no.
so is it a state road or? a
No,
road?
private
It's
road.
private road,
And so, but the county still has
They-
passed the name.
That's correct.
Change.
Yeah, and it's really more of a public safety concern. Somebody calls in, they want to be sure that it's in their system, that they can dispatch folks to the proper place using their system. So it's a public safety function more than anything.
Any reason they didn't just come out and call it Dave Karnofsky Road, just like they wouldn't Mount
Probably
Pleasant?
spelling, I don't know.
I know, right?
Probably ease of,
DK Way.
Yeah,
That's what they're shortened.
that was just a kind of a side snarky
I think it's a
comment
lovely
to
gesture.
all the street names in Mount Pleasant. Why are there two names on every road? Couldn't it just be Dodds?
We could go down that
First and
path
last.
for quite a long time.
so if you all are okay with it, just a approval of the name, and then we'll, the rest of it is,
Motion to approve?
Sure.
If they
We
can
have a
spell it
motion
and
to
fit it
approve.
on a green sign.
Do we have a second to the motion?
Sure, I'll second.
Okay, we have first and a second. Any comments? Any other
No comments?
No comment.
name changes or suggestions? All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
No opposed, it's unanimous. Moving on down
Must you.
to our whole business. And Douglas.
yes.
please.
So I guess before we get to the matrix and really want to just kind of talk about that from a procedural standpoint and go over the formatting and all that. But the comp plan, the group is set to have a joint meeting with the city council at their April, and I believe it's April 8th at 5 PM at their workshop. Just want to be sure that that works for everybody. And the format of that meeting would be to kind of present the plan, and I think I would just go over, there are new elements, there's a lot that's changed, I would hit the highlights of that, and just explain to them that it's an update of a constantly evolving plan. So I think other than just being ready to answer questions and have a general conversation, there's not much that you need to prepare for, but I did want to just be sure that it seemed to work with all, if not most of your schedules.
And what time is that?
5 o'clock, April 8th. They probably will need to, yeah. Yeah, that, Nicole's reminding me that you all would have your next meeting the following day.
Right.
So you'd meet 2 days in a row, is that all right? I do think that that this kind of effort of working through 300 recommendations is going to take some meeting time, so if that's okay with everybody, just want you to be aware too, that it's 2 meetings in April. That's all right.
You're going to get sick of us.
Yes, if all the staff doesn't mind.
Yeah,
Right?
no,
If Amy will let us.
That's right.
What day?
April 8th.
April 8th and April 9th.
Okay, no court.
No court. All right, so that brings us to the eye straining exercise, and hopefully you looked at on your screen more than the paper, but,
Yep.
Did-
oh, yeah. Update on the sea level rise adaptation plan, that was formally submitted and presented to city council Tuesday night, is that just last night? Yeah.
Okay.
Last night, I think it was well received, there's a lot of good questions. So that's now kind of part of the city's planning documentation and in our possession. That also has some recommendations in it, some specifically for this group to look at for zoning policy changes. So that's another plan on, with our community, and we'll be working through that. So that's good, that's something, I think they did a really good job.
I like this version.
Now the matrix, you ready?
No.
No? And Suzanne has really kind of talked about the ultimate goal here, and I think it's 285 recommendations. We were hoping to consolidate them into some number less than that. And that's really the goal, is to consolidate them and to also allow us to divvy them out to the appropriate committee. So you can see that Matt has added kind of a category and then an assigned committee. And then also identify those that are quick and easy and actionable, and then those that are more aspirational, long-term, or they have a lot of money. So with any luck, we'd ultimately be able to get this down to a list that we can go through kind of methodically and start tackling the short-term, quick, quicker and easier tasks, and then start just chipping away at this document.
I have a comment.
Yes.
Good. I gotta make sure mine's off too. So, like I said, I kind of went through, and I wasn't looking so much at their timelines and the actionability.
Yep,
I was looking at trying to break it down to get rid of the redundancies, and then leaving, or identifying the needs first, and then identifying the wants. Because, you know.
so are you adding a new column of need versus want?
I didn't.
Not
wanna-
yet?
I didn't want to start that,
Yeah.
so this is kind of it. Like,
Okay,
as is are some of the needs. Yellow was wants. And the brown, black, gray out is duplication from above.
okay,
So I was kind of trying to do it like that, because, you know, we may want something that has a price tag attached to it, but instead of, we need to be more, I guess, financially conscious, because there's needs that also may be able to use that money. So that's kind of where.
kind
I
of a
was-
prioritization over,
That's what I was looking at.
Yeah.
I mean, it would be nice to elaborate on some of these things in the community enrichment report, but in reality, we have pressing infrastructure issues. So, and this is, I haven't shared this with any of my other commissioners.
Right.
I mean, this is something we can all go through and tackle. I also tried to go through and make my own column that said where some of this stuff relates in our comprehensive plan, like section 5.2.
Right.
It was already brought up, or this you could use ATAX money for. So those are my side notes to myself. I was trying about 14 ways to digest or get some working, something workable out
Yep.
of this.
well, I think we were of the same mindset, to start grouping together those that are redundant, and have that be kind of one priority, but then we would acknowledge that it's in multiple plans. So we probably would reword it to a description, so it might be a new column of concise description that would allow us to put them together, and then we'd have the kind of full description next to it. So we haven't fully flushed out how to group similar
I can take a
priority.
stab at it. In a little more formal way than this.
Yeah,
I mean, I
yeah.
can take a stab at it and send it.
Well, we would just, we would want to keep the paper trail of what the full recommendation is, so we know that we could go back and say, okay, we
Right.
wouldn't want to lose the information as we're kind of
No,
zeroing it
so
down, so,
I just added, these were your two sheets that were sent in there.
Yep.
I just added another sheet.
okay.
Same way.
Oh, okay, kind of a
I-
summary, a consolidation sheet.
So I didn't want to cut and paste. I wanted this to look identical to the sheet that you sent. me.
Okay.
So that's why I started coloring it, if that makes any sense.
Yep.
I can start altering it to make some of the redundancies more concise, but then I think it gets away from your point of trying to keep the document intact.
Right.
So, I don't know, does anybody have any recommendations on how to go about? I do agree there's a lot of low-hanging fruit, but that does take money and effort. And I don't know if the reward is what you would be there.
Yeah. Hopefully also when you get, we do some consolidation of putting 2, 3 recommendations into one. We will then, there's the column that allows us to hopefully divide the list that's culled down a little bit among 3, 4 different committees. So hopefully as we get it, as we kind of divide it up, it becomes easier to manage. Right now, it's a little bit overwhelming and tough to manage, but we're envisioning that this process will make it more bite-sized pieces that a group can work on and focus on.
Well, some of this I see, it's referenced in the comprehensive plan. You go to the comprehensive plan, it references public safety. So, in some of the goals.
Yeah, I think comp plan is generally kind of the last, boy, my eyes are getting bad, but kind of the last
You're gonna-
last page and a half of recommendations are all from the comp plan. So, again, to your point, there should be overlap, they should kind of naturally have some redundancy with other points in the plan.
Well, I kind of tried to do that. I broke it down as, the beach committee. So I went through this list and found out what was their recommendation for everything part of the beach. And so I wrote that down under a column. And then same way with safety, everything that they mentioned in the report and their recommendations, I listed it under safety. And kind of did that all the way down, parking and traffic, kind of broke it down that way. And then trying to go back into the comprehensive plan and see where they all kind of mesh together. Because a lot of it's redundant, there's a lot of redundancy in there. And then a lot of it's just kind of wishful
That's it.
thinking,
Aspirational.
aspirational.
Yep.
Hence the ones.
But some are good with, trying to be proactive and,
Yep.
move forward and, funding for all the different projects that are needed right away, I think. So I was trying to kind of make it a little more simple for myself to break it down
Work
in
through.
categories, yeah.
So would there be a willing group of 2 or 3 of you to work through kind of step one, I think, is this identifying redundancies and grouping those together? I feel like
I would love to work.
Suzanne's halfway there. Tim,
Sure.
would you all be willing to work on doing that?
Anybody else
Does it
want to
make-
join us?
Does it make sense? I think you said it, put, an additional column, kind of grouping them under what are the comprehensive plan categories. I think that's what you were saying.
Yes.
Because that's a first starting point, because
Well, that was what we,
we want that to be the driving document at the end of the day.
No, but I have a lot of these cross-referenced to the CP plan here. But
Right,
then
just
it
in
would
headings,
be,
I mean, in terms of,
and then it'd be under public safety here, but it's referenced in the comprehensive.
so that's that was the goal
That's
of the
existing, right?
category, there's the column, category focus
Sorry.
area. So that's the general kind of column of, is it a public safety issue, is it a quality of life issue, is it a beach issue, environmental, so that was the goal of that column, was to hopefully group similar initiatives into that column, and to be sortable by that column.
Anybody want to join Tim and I in all the fun?
I'll
Oh, thanks, Ron.
be the sucker.
We'll give it to you to review.
So if you all, if you could get it from 285 to
Want it to
one,
50?
one,
I'll do it in 50.
120.
10.
Ooh, I'll do it in 50.
Put 3 together for, what's a third of 285?
So you want,
About a little under 100, under 100, Suzanne, would be the goal.
95.
I would. like to-
95,
That's too random. Just say under 100.
under 100.
Okay, 100, 2 random.
And then we're gonna take,
99? Could be one.
we're gonna take,
Wait, we'll give you 4.
and then have it at a manageable, hopefully that list of 100 can then get divvied up to 4 different committees, so each committee is getting
25.
kind of 25 things.
4 committees.
But I can tell you that each, and I hadn't really worked through how to do this, but each committee is going to want to be able to map back to their original, so we don't want to wipe clean any one committee's recommendation. We want to be able
sure.
to say, this is your recommendation and their recommendation, we've just grouped them together as one consideration.
Well, take for example, you've got, at the very beginning of this, there's a bunch of coyote references. Well,
I know.
That could be the heading, coyote, and then
You
it's
could put coyote.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that
Yeah.
are kind of part of that recommendation, and really they overlap anyway, because,
It goes down even further to signage
yeah, well, I mean,
in different codes.
Yeah, there are a bunch of signs.
and then comes back around to communications.
I got a good picture of Coyote this morning.
Good for you.
This morning?
Yeah.
They're out, I guess this is the time, spring.
Did you take treats?
What's that? No, I took a 9-iron with me.
You were playing golf and he, no. Oh, you went up.
I was walking my dog with my 9-iron.
Okay, so we can take a stab at it and see what Ron thinks, and that way we can throw Ron under the bus. Yeah. Okay.
That's what I'm always.
He's there for that. So Jeffrey, for your benefit, the other bit of work is a joint meeting with this group and city council, April 8th at 5. So if you would, please mark your calendar for that. And we're gonna review and present to them the revised comprehensive plan. And just talk through the changes, the updates in that plan. And then, for the foreseeable future, this work of working through, coalescing the various plans that we've received to try to get them in a manageable, order is our second order of business. Suzanne, Tim, and Ron are going to take the fall on that one. The initial.
That's okay.
And they approve renaming the back gate to Dave Drive for Dave Kanowski. Any other thoughts on the matrix? I mean, I think there's a lot, it's a lot to kind of, to dive into, but I think if we kind of strategically and methodically work through it, we can get it much more manageable.
I think so. I think that's going to be the only way to get
Right.
something done out of this.
Yeah, right now it looks like one big elephant.
Yes, it is very much an elephant.
Eat it bite by bite.
Yeah.
I still think it goes to needs and wants, but we'll do,
Well, I think to that end, I think high dollar and aspirational probably is going to put it in a kind of a long-range category, or, just an aspirational category where there's not really an actionable aspect to it.
okay.
That's all I have,
Oh.
unless anybody else has anything
Can
to
we,
discuss.
nothing?
She's chomping at the bit and sticking to.
She's going to get,
No, I was banking it would be longer than a half an hour.
I can sit here
Got
and
no
make
rest
sure
to go.
that leave the lights on.
there's a lot more than a half hour work here. There's like.
We
Well,
could
we
sit
have
around
to
for
take
another
that.
half hour and talk about the matrix, just the three of us.
Sure.
You can matrix away. I'll let you know.
No, I think it's great. No, we're good.
It's a lot of, that matrix does represent a tremendous, it is kind of interesting to watch, that community enrichment group sat in here for better part of a year. They gave the man hours, and it was thousands of man hours,
Wow.
if not tens of thousands. So we're kind of boiling all these things. Right now, it's down to 3 pages. I think we'll get it down to, with Suzanne's scalpel, it's going to get down to less than 100, and then we divvy it into 4 different committees. We get it to very manageable parts.
Well, I like Tim's idea too, so breaking it down by,
Yep. I left some of it out because it didn't really fit in any real category,
miscellaneous.
miscellaneous.
There you go. Okay, so you want this by the next meeting? Or you want this in a week?
No, not in a week. Next meeting would be great.
Oh, we'll have it probably before then.
Yeah, next meeting would be
That,
great.
It'd be nice to have,
April 9th.
Yes.
it'd be nice
Yeah,
to get to you
for the
before
April
then,
9th
so we
meeting.
have something to talk about.
So Jeffrey, that's the other bad news. In April, you're going to have 2 meetings, one on the 8th, one on the 9th. That's
As
all.
long as we can figure out the at-risk palmettos, that is of utmost importance.
Sorry.
That's in there?
I'm trying to keep my face off camera.
All right, that's all I have. Unless there's anything
Motion
else?
To adjourn?
Well, thanks to this committee. That, I think
Yes.
that they did a good job.
Absolutely.
So,
Very thorough.
they were very thorough.
Absolutely.
And for Matt for putting together the spreadsheet.
Yeah, and Matt is,
Yeah, that's a lot.
took a couple years off of Matt's life, I think.
Do you see where this is going? We're going to be Matt's backup here.
Yes.
That's what it's going to come to.
Is there a font that you selected that's so small you can't even see it?
Well, if you open an Excel, you can control that.
Yeah.
But yeah, when it printed out, it's pretty bad. It's just illustrative, Jeffrey, not to be worked on in that format.
I couldn't even make my lines in there.
Yeah, I haven't played with it yet. I
Work with it in
can print
Excel,
11 by 17
obviously.
at home, but you don't need it bigger. I just want to see it longer and legible.
Yeah. Yeah, even the cells, I mean, it's
Yeah.
clipping some of the verbiage
Right.
in the cells, so it needs.
And I don't know how to correct that in Excel because I'm a cheap guy and use freeware Excel programs.
Do we is there an Excel?
You can
I have them both.
Both, but I
Is there a
just,
wizard amongst you?
What?
You know, I also thought about, David was very,
He's
Wait.
good. I don't know. I mean, what do you need with Excel?
just to
Oh, just
format the cells to be
formatting
more
the cells.
legible.
So like if all that text, some of them go on and get blocked by the next.
Yeah.
Just
So,
wrap text.
You go like this. You go right between them both, and you can double click,
Right, but
and
how-
it will adjust to the longest one.
But you also
Okay.
can just wrap the text and then.
You wrap
You
it.
can wrap it too.
That's
make 'em-
wrapping it tech. How do you do that? Just by hitting return?
You
Click
you
on that
actually
highlight
click the
there,
cell.
The area
Thank
you
you.
wrap text.
You can click
For
the cell.
everybody watching,
and
this
see-
is.
Wait,
Less of a.
this is the wrap text. You click the cell and it's
Okay.
wrap text, and then it will
All
all
right,
go.
I think you
Great.
have your resident Excel
I have that, yes.
That's
expert.
him.
No, it's Suzanne.
Because if we're going to share this stuff, I have to use Excel. Like, I could save my Libra software to Excel, but it's not quite the same. I spilled coffee on
Numbers.
my computer one year. Had
Numbers.
to replace it.
Apple has a product we could
I
use.
don't do
called-
Apple.
You can still get numbers. It's for a PC too.
I don't have an eye in nothing.
Well, I wouldn't say I'm an expert because I can't seem to get on the internet here, so.
No, still haven't either.
That's all right.
No.
At least it's not me.
All right.
So getting back to.
You have a motion to adjourn?
We haven't had it first. You want to be the first?
Oh, first.
Here, you can be the first.
I'll go second.
And you go second. All in favor?
Aye.